you reckon they'd appreciate it if I was like laying across the bed at the back of the podcast? I'm like, probably not.
No.
No, please.
No, please. We're live, by the way. Hello, people.
Hello, interwebs.
Hello.
Sweet, glorious interwebs. We are running late as usual because Chris is running late as usual because he has to be a good father as usual.
We'd like to hold that against him, but it's hard. Society judges us for it.
It's true. He's the only one in the room who has kids and is doing things with his life, and as far as like starting a family and all that.
But luckily, we can make him go last on his "What have you been doing?" So.
It's very true. We can keep this party going, so we're not here all night. I'll make Chris introduce himself last. Listen, you and your Australianists. By the way, Charlotte's back. Everybody say hi to Charlotte. Hi, Charlotte.
Hi,
Yay.
Charlotte.
Hello.
It should be an equal number of men and ladies on this podcast, but for now we are disproportionate. Anywho, I'm going to get this party started. Greetings, and welcome to episode 36 of Backwards Compatible. We're an emancipating group of 4 with a passion for nerdy things like video games, comics, anime, and the whole works. Last week, we introduced ourselves as Chrono Trigger references. This week, I made it comic books for Chris. And fucking Chris doesn't show up on time. The prick.
Fucking did Chrono Trigger without me. Fuck you.
Listen, it's not my fault. Your dumbass has to do school and all the other shit you were doing on Chrono Trigger's 20th birthday.
I don't have a dumb ass. I'm doing science, buddy.
We're not friends at all. You can't tell.
Nah.
Anyway,
Chris.
I decided to make it easier on everyone and make it like comic books, comic strips, web comics, etc. Just anything with the word comic in it. And that's why I'm Jonathan Higgins, the Calvin and Hobbes of this podcast. Because I'm one part funny, one part philosophical, and I fucking know when to quit.
I guess that is true. Although, I do have the entire collection of Calvin and Hobbes, and
As
it
do I.
is so heavy
Of
that
course
you
it
can,
is.
you know.
It is damn heavy, and of course, Chris joins right on time to introduce himself. Look at we can see his damn avatar
Spades.
thing.
Not sure
Erica,
of
go
that.
ahead and go before him, though.
Alrighty. I am Erica, also known as Hello Neo on Twitter. I am going to go the sort of an old school reference here. I am the Jackie Estacado, aka the darkness of this podcast, because just like the comic book series, once I'm here, they have no idea how to get rid of me. Seriously, they've been saying they're going to kill him for like 2 years now, and you can still pre-order his death issue, which comes out this July. So, yeah, that's me.
Can we pre-order your death issue, Erica?
No, because it's probably never going to happen. I'll find a way to come back, claw my way up. That happens
Phoenix
already.
Downs, just like Charlotte. Just like Charlotte. Since Chris continues to make the joke that once people leave the podcast, they're dead.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward that you're here, Charlotte, because I've just been hearing that you died, so...
Indeed.
I did not die, I can assure you.
And
Yeah,
speaking
back.
of coming back from the dead, introduce yourself, lady.
I thought you were talking to Chris. No, yeah, so I
Chris
have
still
Charlotte
hasn't shown yet. He's here.
Yeah, he's like,
somehow, but
his thing is there, but he's not. It dropped out and it came back. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, I am Charlotte Buckingham, and I am the first dog on the moon of this podcast because I like to vent my frustrations via funny rants and make fun of people like Jonathan.
Oh, Lord. Technical difficulties. But yes, Charlotte's back, and she's going to be back for at least the next 3 episodes, would you say, including this one?
What?
You'll be back for 3 weeks in a row, including this one?
3, maybe 4, but you probably 3. Because I want
Right.
to. Yeah.
Anyway, whether Chris shows his dumbass up or not, we're all very happy to have you here. Whether you're watching live or tuning in to us later, thank you for joining us. Speaking of those who aren't here live and in the moment with us, we happen to be getting our video and soon-to-be audio podcast on at about 10:40 on the East Coast on March 18th, 2015. It's the day after St. Patrick's Day. Everybody's nice and chill and relaxed. Do you guys even celebrate St. Patrick's Day in Australia, Charlotte?
Of course, we're like a highly multicultural country. I was working, so I didn't really do anything, but the Irish go crazy
Fair enough.
on St. Patrick's Day.
I, of course, went out and got sloppy drunk, but it was fun. I was responsible. I went to work the next day, and I'm not killing myself over here.
Well, that's good. I mean,
Fair enough.
isn't the balance if you party hard, you have to work hard too, so.
Exactly. That's why I was not... I basically needed to finance my bar tab from last night, so when work called me and was like, get in here, I'm like, oh, okay, fine.
By the way, Jonathan, you said the wrong time. It's 11:41 p.m. on the East Coast on the 19th.
Your East Coast.
Yes.
Your East Coast.
Yes, it is.
I don't want to eject Chris from this call because it risks him not being able to join again. So at the moment, good old Chris, while he is here, he is in limbo, just waiting. So, what have you been up to, Charlotte? Tell the world. We haven't seen you in a few weeks. Surely you've been up to a lot of shit, right?
Me?
Yes, you.
I've been doing uni. That's like... I've been playing a bit of Xenosaga. I've obviously been playing Monster Hunter, because like, I'm always playing Monster Hunter. But I'm near the end of Xenosaga, because I...
Uh-oh. Erica, I can see you. I think Charlotte's frozen.
Yeah, Charlotte is frozen.
Damn, technical difficulties all up
the
in
Google
this
gods
place.
do not like us today at all.
Seriously, Charlotte's just dead over there.
Again.
Womp womp. For Christ's sake. Erica, why don't you start?
Okay then. So basically, there are way too many games coming out this week that mattered, so I got way too many limited editions all at one time. The first of which is obviously Final Fantasy Type 0 came out this week, which has the most beautiful case. This steel case is just like, the cameras do it no justice. It's so gold and it's so pretty, and it has such beautiful Amano art on there, and it's great. So that came out. Also, and I've had no time to play any of these. And then Awakened Fate Ultimatum came out as well, which is the sequel to the Guided Fate Paradox, which I know Barrel is a huge fan of, and he convinced me to give the series another shot because the first one was very, very mean in terms of difficulty levels. It's kind of well known for that. I didn't beat it because I got really. It's a roguelike, so basically, you know, you die, you lose all of your progress, and you have to kind of go back. So, and the game had a really unforgiving way of like trying to level yourself up outside of that. So if you got stuck at one point, you'd kind of get screwed. So they really supposedly overhauled this entire system. I saw gameplay trailers that looked a lot like another roguelike that I loved, which was Sorcery Saga. So I was like, okay, I'm in. Gonna give it another shot.
I've actually heard of Sorcery Saga.
Sorcery Saga is a lot of fun. It's a roguelike light. If you're not super into that hardcore.
Can't be more roguelike light than fucking like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon.
I don't know that game, but this is really, like, this gives you a lot of allowances for ways to keep your stuff in case, you know, you die.
Yep.
There is a challenge at the end. Once you beat the game, it does open, of course, those infamous towers that you can go up if you really want to challenge yourself. But if you just want to enjoy the story, it's surprisingly very lighthearted. It sounds so ridiculous, but because your quest is to just find the great curry god, yes, as in the food, and it's just... But it's great. It's seriously, if you can find it, play it. It's great. So this Awakened Fate looked a lot like that, and I'm hoping it holds up. The collector's edition came with something I haven't seen before, which were these card packs of art, which were really, really cool. They said it came with cards, and I thought they meant like playing cards, but they're actually like lithograph.
Yeah, like
shiny. Yeah, they're and the art is like just stunning for this series. I gotta say, I'm really looking forward to sinking into it. And you can choose as well if you want to side with like the devil or the angel, because you play the role of God. So
nice.
Which was like the first game as well, but it seems like they're all freestanding, which is also what brought me back because, yeah, so that's Awakened Fate Ultimatum. Check that
Yay.
out. What have I been playing? Atelier Shally. Atelier Shally is the third installment of the Dusk series. As you may or may not know, the Atelier games tend to come in trilogies. The last one was the Arlen trilogy. This is the Dusk trilogy. So this is the last one, and I haven't been a big fan of the Dusk trilogy. It's been a little dry, but this has definitely This definitely breathes a whole new life into it. It is the best one of the trilogy. It's the best one they've made in recent past. It's overhauled a ton of new systems. It did away with the whole day time, like you have to do a certain amount of tasks in a certain time limit, which a lot of people did not like with the Atelier series, but whatever, that's the kind of game it is. Some people say this makes the game easier. It kind of throws it back to an earlier game in the franchise, but be that as it may, it's really well put together. It really lets you choose how you want to play, and you can pick one of two characters for each playthrough. And if you pick the last game lets you pick two characters too, but they were identical, so it really made no difference who you picked. This game, the personalities are so different and well developed that it really makes you want to play the game. So really, really recommend it. It does have a glitch that I know a lot of people have been talking about, the growth system glitch. When you hit level 40, they have officially addressed it, and it is being patched. It does not break the game. You just can't open the menu to use it, because then it will shut your game down. So as long as you don't try to use it, you'll be fine, and a patch should be coming shortly. Koei Tecmo and Gust have addressed that.
I'm glad we live. Like, one of the things that boggles me about the modern age is that many, many games with either glaring problems or teeny tiny problems, they're fixed. And like an indie game, like Rex Rocket, for example, that's an indie game I often bring up on Game Podunk and probably on this show as well. One of the major pratfalls that many reviewers would give it is that it has a seemingly unnecessary live system and like a game over, and you can lose your lives and get a game over and start at the very beginning of these cruel fucking levels, and there's just no need to be that cruel as far as making you start all over again. So they just straight took the live system out because so many people didn't like it, and they're like, hey, we made the game better, play it. Like, nice.
I think it's a good thing. And, I know that there are people that are criticizing this game for, like, oh, you took the daytime system out. Just like you're saying, like, oh, they took the live system out and they made it too hard. Well, you know what? Ultimately, the way you're going to make more games is if you can get people to buy the games you already made. So if you can make it a more user-friendly experience, then do it, And I think this series, to really move forward into being more modernized, needed to do that. Because it just was alienating people too much. And, maybe, who knows, they actually added, like, difficulty levels in this game, which they haven't done before. So if you want more of a challenge, you can pick hardcore. So I think you can kind of make those balances. And, yeah, the technological age is great. You can patch something super fast, and you can have it done within a week. So, that's awesome. But, yeah, that's...
So you haven't gotten a chance to play episode Ducasse, or whatever the hell it's pronounced?
I think are they trying to say dusk, or are they trying to say 15 in Latin? I'm trying to figure out what that is.
I mean, it's the land. It's where they are. Like.
Oh. No, I have not.
Oh my goodness! I have a Chris.
The phone is my savior today.
It's got to be your tablet, because like we've had technical difficulties all over the place. Chris is dropping in and out. Charlotte's dropping in and out because her router sucks. It's been fun.
I don't
like the router's like okay, but it doesn't extend all the way to our room, and I'm concerned people are going to come home in like an hour. I'm just like trundle through here, so we'll see what happens, I guess.
The sad part is my tablet was made by Google, so if Google Hangouts doesn't work with Google Tablet, I'm not really sure what to say about that.
Maybe your tablet needs to be updated. Maybe there's some
sir,
sort of
did that today.
This
maybe
show
there's
is
something
not,
with
this
the
show
update.
Is not an advertisement for
Hangouts.
Google.
No, it's definitely not. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I updated both the firmware and the tablet just today, in fact. So, kind of wondered what's going on there, Google.
I think there may be something with the firmware that's disrupting the Hangouts, because like you show up, like you're in the call, but you're not physically in the call.
Yeah, it's. I updated both the firmware and Hangouts. I don't know, they're just not jiving. There's no Java or jiving.
No Java jiving.
All right.
But Erica, are you gonna play Type 0 as soon as you can, or is there just way too much shit on your plate right now?
Oh no, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it as soon as I finish Atelier Shally. I might even start it beforehand because my brother is a super he is fanboying for Final Fantasy 15 to be good so hard. Like he just like wants it so hard to be good, and so I sent him a picture message yesterday of it installing on my PS4, and I just was like, "You mad, bro?" And he just sent back like, "Die." So, and then this morning at about 10 a.m. I got a text message of, I'm off tomorrow. Can I come over and watch you play Final Fantasy 15?
To have those fanboys in our lives.
Yeah, so, well, because he kind of knows this is like Final Fantasy's last chance to prove to people who can still put out, I think, a solid title, because, yeah.
Tim is in our audience as always and asks, does Chris know how to PC Master Race?
Tim, I don't think any of us know. I see another question by Tim that's making me laugh, too, about my props. Oh, man.
There is no PC Master Race is dead here.
I will eventually mail you my Bork-ass Chromebook, and we can put it to use between Randy and my expertise.
Oh man. So that's some of what I've been up to. I don't know if Chris wants to kind of jump in, because I wanted to talk about one other thing, but that'll take up a little bit of time, and I feel like I've been babbling.
Jump in before it's too late, Chris. Go, go, go.
Oh, the pressure's on, man. Jeez. Let me bring up the outline. I have to switch. I usually have that outline on my phone. Oh,
how much of my stuff did I get through before I cut out?
You were in the middle of Monster Hunter, and then.
Yeah. Oh no! I missed my intro.
You did, but you can still introduce yourself if you'd like. Now that you're.
I would, because it's finally my thing. It's finally for me.
It's true.
In 36 episodes, and this is the first time. I am Chris, aka Wild Corsair, and I am the Hawkeye of this podcast because I am a glorious train wreck of a man, and I'm great at boats.
And he demonstrated that gloriously tonight.
Yes,
I did.
You absolutely did. This is a live demonstration of our intro, the hijinks.
my simple presence has destroyed the otherwise peaceful backwards compatible podcast. So yes, let that be the reminder. So what I'm doing? Am I going into what I'm doing?
Yeah,
Yes.
what are you doing?
Let's see. I played a whole bunch of Codename Steam, and that's been pretty cool.
Tell us how that game is.
I actually do want to talk a little bit about that game, if you don't mind.
No, you're
problem
horrible.
that-
Go away.
Shut up, John. The thing about that game is, you and I, we were in the little Q&A session when they started announcing that title
They
at
announced
E3.
that title for the very first time.
We were in the room like 15 feet away from the lead developers of that title, and I'm not sure how well I paid attention because I was under the impression that Codename Steam would be an RPG, and it is not actually in any sense of the word an RPG. And I don't recall if they ever said specifically that it wasn't going to be, but it is not. So
I mean, they called it a strategy game. I don't think they called it a strategy RPG.
yeah, and see that's the thing, because there was a lot of comparisons, especially during the audience questions, comparing it to games like XCOM and Valkyria Chronicles. And I do even remember them being a little hesitant to address direct comparisons. And it definitely makes sense now because, well, both of those are RPGs, and this one is not. It is definitely a strategy game, but it is a strategy, turn-based, third-person shooter. It's literally like the weirdest amalgamation of things you can possibly think of, because you don't think of third-person shooters being turn-based. But yeah, so
That is super
I think
weird.
it is. It is super weird, and they have absolutely no. They're like, you know what? We're gonna weird it out 100% because it's going to be the turn-based third-person shooter version of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen
Yeah,
set in a steampunk universe.
My husband described the demo as baby's first XCOM when he played it. He said he found it very simplistic.
It's but the thing is it's not XCOM, because like I said earlier, XCOM is a strategy RPG, and this is not. The two have certain similarities, but the main thing is the fact that even while you're leveling up in XCOM, your characters do gain levels, they gain ranks, they gain new abilities, things like that. That never happens in Codename Steam. Codename Steam is all about weapons. You bring different weapons to the table. Depending on how well you do in a level, there is no guarantee that you'll get anything new, even if you complete a level, other than to move to the next level. So, whereas it seems simplistic, the complication, I guess, comes in the interaction of different characters and different weapons. As you unlock new characters and you unlock new weapons, I think that's where the game actually starts to get really interesting. For instance, like, and this game is super wacky. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, one of the characters is the Scarecrow from Wizard of Oz.
Oh, I was going to say Batman?
No.
Yeah, that's where I went first. Like, holy shit, what?
I know another character is like a Mecha Abe Lincoln or something like that.
Yep.
It's like a suit of armor, but yes, it's called Abe, which is like automated biomechanical entity or something like that. I don't know. It's really ridiculous.
Nice.
And it's voiced by Will Wheaton for some reason.
Well, Abraham Lincoln is in the game as Abraham Lincoln. He's not Mecha Lincoln, but he drives Mecha Lincoln to punch aliens in the face.
This game's
think
voice
about that
cast
for a second.
confuses me, because on one end you have Will Wheaton, and fucking Adam Baldwin is the voice of the main protagonist.
Really? Adam Baldwin?
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
Where
I
do
not
they
like that
just
guy.
like go up to people and be like, "Hey, so you haven't been in anything for a while. Do you want to be a voice in a video game?"
They took the entire Gamergate scandal and put like both sides in the game.
They did. That is so hilarious.
Why can't
Is
we?
Anita Sarkeesian in this game? Does she voice like Tiger Lily or something that I don't know about?
Oh God!
Like really? Like they should just cover all the bases. That's incredible.
Yeah, I think they're gonna get notoriety like that they don't want for that.
Well, this is actually the first time I've heard it, and yeah, Adam Baldwin. Like, I obviously am not a huge fan of that guy anymore. I'm not gonna exactly go burn my copy of the game or anything, but I now suddenly know why I don't like using that particular character.
It's so funny that, like, I don't know. I always think it's, like, cheap. It's funny that, like, I went from, like, sort of liking Will Wheaton to not liking him because I feel like people drag him into stuff for nerd cred, and it gets annoying because it's like, man, stop name-dropping Will Wheaton. We get it, man. He was in Star Trek, and now he overacts in YouTube skits about playing tabletop board games that make me want to cringe. It's like, just go away and let Felicia Day talk, and just...
Yes.
I think I don't know. I like him. I'm a fan. But then again, I've also not.
Don't get
seen
me
him
wrong.
talk.
I like Will Wheaton, but I fucking love Felicia Day.
Yes, I like him, but if I had to choose who I would save from a shark attack, like I would still pick Felicia Day.
So let's get the hypothetical here. They're both in the ocean.
Oh, Jesus.
Right.
And there's blood in the water.
Yes.
And the shark is swimming up to one of them, and you only have time to, like, say, punch one of the sharks in the nose.
Right.
Because that's how you do it, right? You punch them in the nose.
Right between
That's
the
thing.
eyes. Right between.
Right
Yeah.
between. But the eyes, everything is between the eyes. The eyes are like here and here.
Well, they're
So
between the
technically
eyes and
all
the
of
nose.
this.
So it's like.
Why the fuck are we arguing about shark semantics?
Well,
Move on.
I'm just saying.
First of
like,
all, Charlotte lives in Australia, and I hear that there are more shark activities in that area. Is that correct?
I'm not familiar with shark activities overseas, but they're doing a cull in Western Australia, so I guess.
Yes. See,
Yes.
She should know more about what to do in the event of a shark attack, like break glass.
Yes,
in
you pop
case
it
of
on
a shark attack.
Pop it on the nose, like just on the end of the nose. That's just
See,
like what
she's
you
an
do.
expert. She's an expert.
good. It'll be
also-
her saving.
All right.
But either
I'm not a
way,
good fan of it.
after Charlotte punches the shark, I would save Felicia Day.
Yes.
Okay. Well.
Chris,
No
tell us about
judgment.
the Flash.
Anyway, wait. I'm not done. We've got tangented.
All
Anyway,
right.
so like I was saying, I think the best parts of the game are created when you combine certain characters and certain weapons to get like these really cool effects. Like the Scarecrow, he's got a weapon that shoots a gigantic pumpkin onto the field, and after a turn it explodes, and it stuns all the enemies in that radius, and it doesn't affect your team. So that's like it's super cool. It's like it's ridiculous. Anyway, I also have a secondary weapon on him that shoots a tin can, and it deals no damage whatsoever. The entire purpose of the tin can is to focus enemies' attention onto the can
Okay.
and not shoot you in the face when you walk up to them.
That's
So-
so does it distract all enemies or just like one enemy? And does the tin can have a health bar? Does it stay there for a limited time?
It does its thing and then it goes away.
It's like
it's
the
a
Duck
one
Hunt aluminum
turn.
can. It's the can of doom.
It does not blow up. It's not that awesome.
Damn.
That's hilarious.
So I was playing this level recently, and I went through there, and I threw this pumpkin right in the middle. And there are these guys. They're supposed to be like, oh, don't screw with these guys. Don't let them catch you, because if they do, they're going to tear you limb from limb. So I threw the pumpkin, and I threw a can right next to it. These big, gigantic, they're supposed to be like the alien versions of the Hulk, where they're like huge, and they get angry, and they get strong when they're angry. Well, they see the can, and they walk up to the can, and then the balloon goes off, and they get stunned. And I had just some dude walk up right behind him, shoot him twice in the back of the head, and they were dead. And I'm like, you know what? Teamwork. Yes, the Cowardly Lion and the Scarecrow without a brain totally killed Alien Hulk because of a balloon and a tin can.
So would you say
That's
that you
okay.
feel that Steam's strength is more coordination between the characters on
Yes.
the field?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
It's entirely based on finding the different combinations that exist between characters and guns,
Okay.
because you can only have 4 characters per map, and there's I think like 16 or 20 characters in the game,
Okay.
and each one of them has a unique main weapon that can't be changed, but the secondary weapons you continue to unlock and can change those at any time.
So for that reason, would you say that people would need to stick with the game a little more to find out when it gets difficult or interesting? Because I don't know if it unlocks characters as you go or right away.
Yeah, it looks like you're doing a character per chapter.
Okay.
Is what I've been. Looks like I'm on the 7th chapter, and I just got like the 6th teammate or something like that.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I would definitely say to stick with it. Certainly past at least the 3rd or 4th chapter, because the demo covers only the prologue, which is basically you can't fail even if you try, and then the 1st chapter.
Then that would explain. Yeah, that would explain kind of some of the stuff I'd heard about it being simple, because what you're saying you wouldn't even be able to touch.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. In fact, even when you get into there's bonus missions at the end of the demo. Even that bonus mission is still in the 1st chapter. So they even throw in a 4th teammate that you technically do not have yet. But I don't know. I'm enjoying it. It's certainly not what I thought it was going to be, and I think a lot of reviewers are having that same problem where they're
we can talk about
confused.
Review controversies. Hey, Chris. Hey, Erica. Hey, Charlotte. Do you finish the games you review?
You know what? That's a very. People have asked me why don't I write reviews, and I used to, and then I stopped because first of all, because I refuse to review a game that I haven't beaten, and I can't beat them fast enough to actually, I would need a crew of people, and then I wouldn't let any of them review the games until they had beaten it, because we were just talking about Atelier Shally before you joined us, Chris, and I think you were still frozen, Charlotte, but. Well, the game has gotten excellent reviews, and it deserves every single one of them. But the glitch with the growth system kicks in at level 40, and you can easily get to level 40, depending how you play, by chapter 3 or 4, which is not all that far into the game. Like honestly, you probably haven't invested more than 20 hours at that point. And I don't know how it got past QC, I'm sorry, because it crashes your PS3. It's just like, boom, done. In fact, when the menu comes up, basically you unlock a system at level 40 that lets you choose how you want to level up your character. So you can put more points to like strength or alchemy or what have you. And it's a new system just for this game. So you would think that's the first thing they'd want to make sure works. Because they're like, hey guys, new growth system. You can grow. So like, you play through the game, you get to level 40, you go, okay, yeah, let me grow. And then you open up your screen. The text is literally in kanji, still in Japanese. And then your PS3 shuts down and goes, no growth for you. So
you cannot grow.
So now here's the thing. The reviews have been saying it's game breaking. It's not. I'm level 42 miraculously currently. So clearly you don't need to use the system, which makes it just seem all sorts of like useless and needless. But they addressed this. They are patching. But the point is,
the reviewers, and they're like, oh, we don't have to play this shitty niche game anymore. Let's call it game breaking in.
How did that get past the review copies? Clearly nobody beat the game. You wouldn't have been able to review the game positively if like your PS3 crashed and you were like, hey, guys, there's Japanese in my English copy. I don't think that was what you intended. So, Jesus. It's just people aren't finishing the games. You saw that with Eternal Sonata. The ending of Eternal Sonata was like god awful, and you could tell every review that had finished it because it was good about 50% of the way. And the people who had only played it a little bit were like, "This game is amazing," and I was like, "I felt that way too." Until here, and then the reviews that had finished it were like, "It was good until here."
Bravely default.
I like the ending of Eternal Sonata.
You like the PSA, the 20-minute PSA at the end of Eternal Sonata about loving people in the world?
Yes. That's what the entire game was about.
I literally turned off my system because I was like, why are they still talking to me about loving myself?
How did you not know a game about Frederick Chopin was going to be about the life of Frederick Chopin? That's like saying, hey, there's a game about
it doesn't need to be about
Chalet, It is. That's the entire reason the game exists, is to be about the life of Frederick Chopin.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. That's what the game was. He is the main character. The entire game exists in his dying moments.
Yes, I know that. However, that's not a spoiler. But it's as much about Chopin as Steam is about
game.
Abraham Lincoln.
It is as much about Frederick Chopin as Frederick Chopin is about Frederick Chopin, because it's about him. The game wouldn't exist without him. He is
Erica?
the bread and butter.
I don't love you as much as Charlotte, because Charlotte and I go back, but I love you, and you're welcome on this show anytime you want if you're going to give Chris a run for his money like you have been.
I'm not even
telling
debating Frederick Chopin here. I'm debating the ending of the game, because the ending was awful. That's what I'm debating.
It wasn't an ending. I will definitely concede that it was not an ending.
Chris,
Exactly.
have you played Unchained Blades?
A PSA.
Have either one of you played Unchained Blades, as a matter of fact? It came out back on the PSP a long-ass time ago, and the 3DS back in January.
Actually, I think I have. That sounds very familiar.
What is it?
Unchained Blades. It's a dungeon crawler along the same lines of like Atrian Odyssey and stuff.
I have that for 3DS. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. That was actually kind of
I got that game for review from Xseed, and I played that fucking game and beat that fucking game in a week. Do you know how long that game is?
That's a long-ass game.
Do you know how fucking long that game is?
Mad props to you, dude, because that is wow.
Before
I still have
I got
not beat that game.
kicked from the Operate Vol Facebook group and whatnot, where we all used to talk together as staff. There are logs of my absolute fucking insanity with that goddamn game.
I kept checking back because it was hilarious. Like, Jonathan was like freaking out. He was like, God, I won't be able to finish this game in time. This game is so fucking hard. I hate this game so much.
By the way, it's like me and Firefly Diaries, which I had to actually like stop playing for a little bit because I was getting too angry. Like, I was like, I don't feel like a game where a girl has a little Firefly leader around should be leading to me inventing so many swear words. And like, if I was playing this in a Starbucks or something, I would be getting ejected and probably arrested for like public misconduct.
See, me personally, I will finish every game that comes my way, including a game like Axiom Verge, that, while I loved the hell out of it, I'm learning how much I suck at Metroidvania games for reals.
Baten Kaitos came your way, and you played that for all of like an hour.
Baten Kaitos was not a game that was publisher supplied to me for review, or that I was reviewing.
I couldn't get into Baten Kaitos either. I could not get into that game. I tried. I had
card
it.
Skills are too weak.
Probably. I mean, I fully admit.
Erica and I are kindred spirits. This is my hug.
I literally I had it. I had a wall scroll for some fucking reason. I think it came to EB Games, and I just took it home because I was like, oh, this art is cool. And then I tried to get into it, and I couldn't. And I tried a couple times, and I don't know why, but
because it's a card game, and card games suck.
I'm not gonna say that because that's just mean.
No. I know it's because Charlotte's boyfriend and Chris both are hardcore Magic folk.
Oh well. I'm just gonna leave that.
Anyways,
moving right along.
I do actually have something to contribute to Jonathan's little tangent there. I was the review editor for a website for nearly 2 years, and I was actually responsible for writing all of the procedures and rules and all of that for the site entirely. So, as you can imagine, I put in quite a lot of work into that question specifically. And the thing that I came to, and it's definitely the thing I still stand by even today, is that sometimes you cannot beat a game, and it's not necessarily through any fault of your own. And even if it is through fault of your own, as in like not you being lazy, just maybe you're just not good enough. You still have to finish a review when you're receiving these copies from the publisher. You don't have the ability to just say, well, I'm just not going to review this because I can't beat it. So, well, I guess I can't review it. You can't do that. You don't have that luxury. The publishers and, media people have faith in you to help get the word out on their product. It's not something that you can really betray because that jeopardizes your ability to get review copies in the future. So this is what I had worked out. And I said basically like, if the game is either broken because of a glitch or you simply just cannot beat it, like there's absolutely no way, make a note as to why. Say, I did not complete this review, and I did not complete it because too hard, game-breaking glitch, etc., etc., etc.
We're in Xenoblade Chronicles, and it's 80 hours long.
Well, exactly. I mean, something like that is like, right. And
I'm reviewing
totally
Xenoblade
understand.
Chronicles for Game Podunk when it comes out. God help me. God help me.
I totally understand what Chris is saying. It's like, like if you're going from a promotional standpoint, yes, but because I mean, a game review is hard because yes, you're going to get a general feeling for the game system within probably the first 5 hours anyway. So you can review something like that. I just would like reviewers to acknowledge if they beat the game or not. That should mandatorily be acknowledged if they beat it or how many hours they put into it. Just so that you know that if, like, at hour 60 of this RPG, it all goes south for some reason, like, yes, exactly, Bravely Default, hello. You cannot be like, oh, this place gives bad reviews or they're biased towards. Just be like, it takes the liability off the reviewer, the site, everybody wins.
Exactly. Yeah. I think people should definitely disclose if they're not able to. That's always what I asked of my reviewers, is that if you can't, you need to disclose it. If they're doing something the first 5 hours on a game that's 20 plus, we would call that a preview. We wouldn't even call that a review. We would call that a preview.
Yeah. Right.
But
I did that for Pokemon Conquest because that game was a fucking joke.
That game was so much fun. I actually had so much fun with that game. I loved it so much.
That's right, John. Eat your shit.
That game was not my cup of tea, and I'm a Fire Emblem guy, so like I would have thought that game was going to be my cup of tea. It really, really wasn't. But Erica, Marissa says hi, and she says that she just bought Bait by Toast.
Oh, nice find. That's an old one, so.
It certainly is. I hope you enjoy it, Marissa. Do follow us on Twitter and tell us your opinions of the game. Don't let our opinions of the game turn you off.
And do tell Radical Defect he is wrong in his original assessment of that game.
And let me just say, I was not saying that I thought it was bad, I just could not get into it personally. There are many games I have not been able to get into personally that, like Skyrim, does nothing for me. Dragon Age does nothing for me. Fallout, though, and Mass Effect, I'm all for. So sometimes, and those are the same games. So it's just...
Kind of, actually.
They're literally
it's just sci-fi versus fantasy is the only difference.
Yes, exactly. Its setting is everything. So I just could not do... I could not do it. Like, my brother tried to get me into Skyrim. He came over like a Jehovah's Witness, determined to make me see the beauty of Skyrim. And I sat there...
Elder Scrolls.
Oh.
The Jehovah's Witness of Elder Scrolls.
Well, I hope he didn't come over with the PS3 version, because that's like the King James Bible. That's get it out of here.
He came over and like I could not take it seriously. I created a raptor race person and dressed him up. I dressed him up like Raptor Jesus, and then I gave him all heal skills. And I ran into town shooting, like, heal skills at people, saying, I just want to save you. I just want to save you. And then he was yelling at me I wasn't taking it seriously, so I ran into a stream saying, look, I can walk on water. And then I couldn't. I drowned. And that was the end of my experience with Skyrim.
Do you know how long it takes to drown in that game? And not only how long it takes to drown, but because you were the lizard race, you actually have a natural resistance to drowning.
I also had an entire town's worth of people
You have a
throwing
passive
arrows
trait.
at me because they were persecuting me because I was Raptor Jesus, and I came to deliver a message of hope. And
That's like
as a
saying
result,
you're allergic to oxygen. I hope you realize that's what you accomplished.
well, I'm not from this world. I am Raptor Jesus, so I don't abide by these rules.
Last 5 minutes of this podcast, from about 11:15 to 11:20. That's going on our B-side reel when we're famous. Jesus fuck. Well done, Eric. Chris, are you done with Codename Steam, for Christ's sake?
I am done with Codename Steam.
Tell us
Do you
about
want
The
me to-
Flash and iZombie and things.
Okay, I watch TV sometimes,
Ooh.
and sometimes I like the shows I watch. In the case of The Flash, which last night's episode made me want to cry so much, and I almost did cry so much, but then I had to go upstairs and talk to my wife, and I didn't want her to ask me why I was crying, because then I'd have to tell her I'm crying because of a TV show, and let's face it, I'm not getting laid that way. So.
Oh, come on, you probably totally would. Women love sensitivity in a man.
Can confirm.
Not when they're crying over a television show. When they're crying over like a crippled puppy, then okay,
Dude,
that'll get you
Dude.
horizontal quicker than whatever.
I got laid when I cried. I'm not lying.
About TV?
Not necessarily TV, but like movies and shit. It's the same difference. It's fucking film.
Okay,
All
so
right,
what about iZombie? Because I saw the trailer for this and I wanted to kill myself. So please tell me what is going on
Okay.
with this show.
iZombie, and I'm disappointed, not because the show was terrible, which I guess technically it was terrible, but because it's based on a comic book. So I read the comic book, and then I watched the show, and they are literally nothing alike. like literally zero. They don't even have the same main character, as far as I can tell.
Comic book
What?
somehow better?
Oh, it's a lot better. Like, everything that you would imagine would be awful about the show, Erica, is even worse in the comic book, but it's better because of that.
Is the comic book intentionally awful?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Imagine like the Scooby-Doo adventures, only instead of it being like 4 people and a dog solving crimes of like fake supernatural elements, it is now, a zombie, a ghost, and a were-terrier, meaning he's not a werewolf, he turns into a dog. And the 3 of them solve crimes against other things like vampires and mummies.
Can it be a corgi? I'm a were-corgi.
I'm sure it's possible in this world, yes.
Yes!
I'm sure it is
Imagine,
100% possible.
Like a chihuahua or a pug. You're like, I'm getting angry, and you're like, oh my god, you're adorable. It's like, oh my god, I just want to love you.
Well, that's kind of what happens in here, because he is a were-terrier. He's like a Scottish terrier, and so when he transforms, he's got that little Scottish terrier face.
Oh, Jesus.
And no one is afraid of him. Everyone kind of treats him like crap. It kind of sucks for him.
That's
because
funny.
he's yeah. So it's ridiculous and it's pretty terrible, but it's awesome because it's terrible, and none of that is in the show.
Yeah.
The show is based only around the zombie character,
Aw.
and yeah, there's none of the other awesome stuff. She's solving crimes against just random deadbeat jerkwads.
Boo.
None of them are super. Like, she's not trying to find the vampire who's, killing people in town. She's just trying to find
The
a dude
vampire is
who-
actually part of the Supernatural show, and there's going to be a massive crossover, so all the fanboys and fangirls can orgasm.
I don't understand
Maybe.
when you have a storyline, like in a comic book, and then someone comes up to you and says, hey, we want to buy the rights, because, they can't just make this. Why do you approve it if the idea is so different than what you originally wanted to do? I feel like, I don't know, no
Did anyone
artistic
here, seen the
integrity.
Aragon movie and read the Aragon book as a classic example?
Probably. I heard that was
Aragon.
awful.
But-
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, There's a million examples. I guess that's why I ask, because I've seen it happen where, like, I'll love a book and then I'll see a movie and I'll be like, if I had written this, I would, like, never have said yes to this, because I'd be like, no, I put my, like, unless I mean, I don't know. Depends on how much money.
Did any of you guys read? Did any of you guys read the Percy Jackson book?
No.
No, and then
But
the
my
Percy Jackson
personal example is Flash Forward, the ABC show. That book and that TV show on ABC that had, like, Henry Cho and other idiotic people in it and was there for a hot minute in, like, 2010. That book
That's right.
and that show were two completely different beasts.
That is probably exactly why that show failed. Which is kind of why I can see, like, if iZombie gets canceled, I will absolutely know it's because it sort of abandoned the comic book fan base.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's the fastest way to piss off the viewership of a show like that. It's weird. You'd think you'd want to stick to the episodic nature of the comic book, and if you abandon them, they're not going to want to watch you. So.
And the funny thing is, like, this is hilarious because they obviously removed the other elements, either because they were either trying to ease people into it, or they were trying to tone down the very hard to accept nature of comic book to TV transition. But in doing so, they've sort of caught themselves between two audiences: the people who would watch it because it actually looks like a good show, and the people who would have watched it because they like the comic. And so now they've kind of, like, they're in the middle between both of them, and I don't think they're making any fans on either side.
No, because I'll tell you something, I did not know it was a comic book. And I saw that trailer, and I was like, "Are you kidding me with this nonsense?"
Like, here is actually a page from the comic. I don't know if I can get the camera to, like, stabilize.
Yeah, we got it.
It's drawn by this guy named Mike Allard. He's actually one of my favorite comic book artists. That's why I was just like, well, I'm definitely going to check this out, because he's got a very distinct style. It's very pop art, and I really like it. And I really just wish that it was the comic. Like, I wish that the comic was the show, and it's not, and I'm bummed.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
All right, Charlotte, since we haven't heard from you, do you give a fuck at all about Type 0 in Final Fantasy 15?
I sort of stopped giving, like, I've talked to a friend, he played through Type 0 after the English patch came out, and he said it was a pretty average game. And he played through Final Fantasy 15 and said, like, well, he's played the demo, and he said, like, the gameplay's alright, but, like me, he's not big on, like, the boy band thing.
Yeah.
Like,
road trip!
I stopped giving a shit about, Square Enix sort of, as I've said on the podcast before.
The world ends with you.
The world ends with you countdown. I stayed up till 1 o'clock my time to watch it, and then they revealed it was an iOS port. And I was with my boyfriend at the time. I've told this on the podcast before, but I don't think Eureka's heard. And, like, I was at my boyfriend's place, and before I wrote the article and writing the announcement, I stopped, I got a cuddle, and we cuddled for a couple of minutes, and then I got into it, because I was so mad. And it was really hard to keep Snark. I'm pretty sure I did a pretty good job of keeping Snark out of that article, but I'm fucking done.
I do not blame you at all. That is tragic.
Square Enix and I have a very, very, very love-hate relationship. Type 0 is actually the first game of theirs that I've had interest in a while, I guess, probably since Bravely Default, which, while the ending was awful mechanically, the gameplay was a lot of fun when it was working, though, and that's why I'll come back for a second round. But
yes.
I love Bravely. Like, Bravely Default was an amazing game up until the end. Like, I loved that game, and then I got to the end, and it was like, why are you making me do this over and over?
Right, well, at the end I realized that, like, this storyline makes no sense and I shouldn't take it seriously. But, like, after I finished it, I had to look back and realistically say that, yeah, you know what, I could just race through that ending part if I wanted to super fast, because I was so overpowered at that point. Yeah. And I couldn't judge the rest of the game, because what they had done was basically just modernize the turn-based RPG, which there's very little left of in terms of that. You know, everything's going action RPG, and honestly, I don't care. But I know there are people that want that still. And what they did in terms of making it easier or harder for the random encounters, and then giving that whole kind of as a strategy for how you wanted your job systems to work, and then the combinations with the job systems. It was the same team and even art people that were behind Final Fantasy Heroes of Light, and that one had a job system as well with like the little crowns and the gems you could put in it, and it was painfully grindy, but it was so cute and artistic, and like you wanted it to be better, and then Bravely Default happened, and like it was that game. So, but you didn't care about any of the characters except Idea.
You could turn off, if you wanted to gain absolutely no experience or job points, you could turn that off from the menu.
Yeah, right.
Like if you wanted to be like, I'm the asshole who's gonna do this and be level 1, freelancer job class through the whole game and be super like, oh my god, I'm so much better than you. You could do that.
Yep.
Yeah, but then you'd get your ass kicked by the bosses who are.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to beat anything. But at the end of the game, though, when you had to redo fucking everything 5 billion times, you could just turn off all of those battles though, except for the ones you had to do, which were just
I actually just skipped all the optional ones because I was doing the review for Up Rainfall, so I just did like the ones that you have to do and just like went all the way through. And even then, like it was still really tedious. It was just like
it was
the first couple of times. It's just like it's just like okay, the first couple of times you're interspersed with story, and then like the last 2 or 3, it's just like why are you making me do this again?
Exactly.
Again.
And you still didn't understand what the fuck the story was about by the time it was over. So you're like, whatever, man. But I will come back 100%.
I feel like I'm gonna feel that way about Type 0, though.
See, Type 0 looked interesting to me. Like, I actually started watching the first 20 minutes of gameplay and stopped at about 10 minutes in because I was liking what I was seeing. I was like, okay, I don't want to watch anymore because I don't want to ruin it for myself because I want to have some surprise. And I don't know. It's the first M-rated Final Fantasy ever, like ever. So things that they might not have wanted to explore or themes or whatever that were off the plate before, like they're finally gonna go there. But it's very dark. Like it's in the first 20 minutes of gameplay, and you can watch this anywhere, so it's really not a spoiler. Like a chocobo dies. And the Chocobo Knight is dying with it, and is like calming it down as it's in its death throes. And I'm sitting there like, why am I watching I'm watching a Chocobo die. Like I didn't know this was allowed. What's happening?
That's not the first time a Chocobo has died in a Final Fantasy game.
Dude,
but you're not watching it bleed out, like going like, arr! You're
it's
like,
not,
oh my
I'm telling you right now.
Listen. All I know is this is my last chance with modern Final Fantasy, as it were. Because I gave 10 a chance. I played through a bunch of 10. Like, I kept going with it, and then I realized how much I couldn't stand it about 75% of the way through. But I finished it anyway. I skipped 11 and 12, and we all know how I fucking feel about Final Fantasy 13 and that saga. This is my last chance. Type 0, and that's why I bought the fucking Collector's Edition. It's my last bastion. If Type 0 doesn't impress me, I'm not gonna, like... Final Fantasy 15, like, I played maybe 20 minutes of the demo while I was wandering around before I got distracted by Axiom Verge, which I'll bring up again in a minute, but I played the demo, and I'm realizing that it does a few things right. I hate that it's a boy band and there's not interaction with fucking females, but, Erica, did you play the last story?
Yes.
So you know how, like, whenever you're wandering around dungeons and shit, your party members talk to you and interact with you, and it feels like a cohesive group, and they're not just dropping one-liners like they do in Xenoblade.
Yes.
It feels like that when you're playing through Final Fantasy 15. These people will talk to each other and have organic conversations as you're wandering around the battlefield and whatnot. It's not just, like, cheesy one-liners, stuff like that. Like, it feels like a cohesive group of guys, but yeah, it's definitely a group of guys, and it's a total fucking sausage fest. But the combat's alright. It hasn't grown on me completely yet, but I can tell that if I give it a chance, it's going to appeal to me a lot more than Final Fantasy 13 ever did with its paradigm shifts and whatnot, because the combat is very free range. Like, you can zip around and fucking block shit and warp and recovery points, and there's like a whole bunch of nuances to the combat, and I'm going to be writing up a massive Final Fantasy 15 thing for Game Podunk, and I'm not looking forward to describing all the various nuances of the combat system, because it's pretty complex, even at first glance, but I feel like it's
Well, that's
like,
good, because I felt
easy to learn, hard to master, I guess.
So.
Then you played the first disc.
Yes, and then I had to stop because it was awful.
I'm telling you, it gets
Worse?
way better than that.
Erica, we're going to open up this can of worms again.
I'm sorry. It's like, Randy's not here, but I'm going to hold it
No,
down.
I
Like,
know, like Randy's like,
the
I'm going to have
paradigm
one person
shift. No.
follow me.
It's
I'm gonna be
true,
like,
no. It's true. Like, okay, on the first disc primarily, yeah, there's a whole lot of pressing A. There's a couple of fights with like boss sort of fights, like you're trying to get Shiva, things like that you have to actually think a little bit. But that is completely abandoned by, I guess, the second disc or the equivalent of the second disc if you're playing on PS3 or whatever.
Shouldn't
That
take
it gets
that
to a
long.
point. It shouldn't, but it did. Like, I'm sorry to say, like, it did. But
Well,
if you
then
stuck
there
it
was-
out, not only were you rewarded, but you were rewarded really well, because the ability for you to tackle these fights in such a strategic manner in an action RPG, it's one of my favorite combat systems in any Final Fantasy game, period, now, because of how well it was implemented towards the end of that game.
More power to you, Chris.
And I'm glad you love what you love. I respect your opinions.
Cool. I will also respect yours, except for you didn't finish the game, like of the reviewers that you're talking and complaining about didn't finish
Oh,
the game.
Jesus.
Oh my
don't
god, I
need to
said it!
Did I review the game? No, I watched my brothers play through
Chris.
two of the sequels,
Chris,
and I was
let's
like, really?
talk about a game that I know you're going to love, and that I love, and that I'm trying to get Charlotte into,
Actually,
and Erica.
Actually,
You
I'm
ever
going
play.
to hijack this conversation for just a second, because my phone is dying. It's at like 16%. So I'm going to talk about something real quick that I know Erica will laugh and love. And then I'm going to try desperately to get back on the podcast with my tablet. Cause it's, So, Erica, after I finished iZombie, which was kind of terrible and disappointing, it went back to whatever it was before I had DVR'd it. And it turned out to be this movie called The Barons. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of that.
Oh, no.
I swear to you, I did not plan this. This was not premeditated in any way. I did not watch this movie specifically so that way I could talk about it. There's my disclaimer.
What the hell is The Barons?
Now, The Barons is a movie. It's a couple years old. It takes place. There's a family who heads out to the Pine Barrens in New Jersey, and they become stalked by the Jersey Devil until the Jersey Devil murders all of them.
Erica?
Spoiler alert, they all die.
Whether Chris makes it to the end of the show or not, I'm going to unbox some things that Chris gave me. I have Chris's address. You can buy him a copy of the old PlayStation 1 game called Jersey Devil. It's a really
I was going to say
platformer.
we should buy that for Erica, actually.
No, we're going to buy it for you because you have an obsession.
I don't.
Okay, show of hands. Who among this podcast has actually been to the Pine Barrens?
Yeah, see? That's
I
the
did
only
not
reason
see a
I-
Jersey Devil. I swam in a lake there. I got lost in roads there. I saw quicksand. I wondered if people who lived there were going to kill me or not. I eventually found my way out. I did not see a Jersey Devil. And I wouldn't be worried if one was stalking me. Because have you seen the pictures of this thing? It looks like some mutated chocobo with, like, minotaur feet and bat wings and, like, a little
and
T-Rex.
ram horns.
Yes, it is the stupidest looking creation. It's like, this is what you came up with? Clearly, y'all were on some shit
Charlotte,
because...
just to search for Jersey
I-
Devil Pine
I
Barrens.
just looked it up. Yeah, okay, I found it.
Oh, Wikipedia. It has its own Wikipedia entry. It has been in existence
Here.
since before the early
Yes, I
1900s.
found it.
No. You have to look
Here.
at the old sketches from like the
Oh
old.
yeah, there's.
Like January 1909. It
Look
looks
how
Jesus.
stupid that looks.
See,
Christ.
this is one here.
Look at that. If
Yeah,
that was
This
stalking
is
my
really
family-
awful though.
No, but if that killed everybody in my family, like you all deserve to. It's natural selection at that point. You all deserve to go because that is the most. If like that is like a dodo bird, it has no way of surviving through.
Look at this thing. I wouldn't want that thing chasing after me.
But that's not what the Jersey Devil was supposed to look like.
Chris, get the
Well,
hell
it's
out
not
of
like
here and
Antler
redraw it on your
ones.
tablet.
If you want to meet it so bad, why don't you come up to the Pine Barrens? I mean, it's fucking a billion miles of protected nothing. So
Maybe
you
I
can go
will.
get lost in
Maybe I
there,
will do that.
have fun. I'll drop you off and go down to the
Oh,
shore.
here, this is a good one right here. Look at this.
I'll be down the shore while you are looking for the Jersey Devil. I'll be sipping on like a margarita, and like when
That
you
is a
show up
face.
7 days later, like covered in pine sap and sandy, with like your clothes all ripped apart, I'll
This
be
is
like,
a
so how was
face.
it?
That only a mother could love.
The mother who claims to have birthed the Jersey Devil said it was going to be her 13th child and that she was going to give birth to the devil. And that's how that started, supposedly. That's how that rumor started.
Time to
Pine
talk about Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
All right, I will
Drop
take
it.
my leave momentarily. Wish me luck.
Chris, good luck. And by Chippendale Rescue Rangers, I actually mean Devil Survivor. Erica, did you ever play Devil Survivor Overclocked?
No.
Or the
It-
2009 DS version?
It's a Shin Megami Tensei game, though, right?
It is, but it's a spin-off of Shin Megami Tensei that is one part Fire Emblem, one part Dragon Quest, and one part Pokemon, to be honest. Like, it takes place in modern-day Tokyo, which is, like, vaguely reminiscent of, like, the Persona games, because it's, like, a bunch of high school kids, and the plot of the first game, without spoiling anything, everybody gets locked down and trapped in the Yamanote line in Tokyo. And fucking demons break out, and everybody's locked down in Tokyo while these fucking demons are breaking out. And the whole premise of it is you are on a grid, and you move your units on a grid, but as soon as you go to your units, it's not like Fire Emblem where it's like RNG based and like there's hits and whatnot. It launches into an actual battle system that is pretty much page by page ripping off of Dragon Quest. So you will go in there and it will be like a first-person view of the monsters and the guy in the middle controlling the monsters, and you can kill the guy in the middle and not worry about the monsters on the side. Like, there's various strategies and stuff. Devil Survivor is actually, like, in my top 25 games. It's
Huh.
probably closer to the middle because, like, it blends the best parts of Fire Emblem, Dragon Quest, and Pokemon. And
Now,
it's
when
modern-day
you're
Tokyo.
saying Dragon Quest, are you talking like old school dungeon crawler? So
No, there is no dungeon crawling whatsoever.
No,
Like,
I mean, okay, so I guess what I mean by that is like Demon Gaze, something recent like that, where it's like you just see the monsters in front of you, and you don't
yes.
see the party.
You don't see your party, but like you do see your party because there's tons and tons of story and every bit.
Oh, no, I mean like outside of battle, you see your party, but like in battle, you
In
just
battle, no, you do not see your party. You just see the monsters.
okay.
But there's no. It's not a game where you are like traveling around a dungeon and can get lost. Like there's literally no traveling at all. The whole
Okay.
point. The way the game moves forward is by time-based increments. Like it's just something you pick off a menu and you visit a place, you learn about the place, and time passes and you go to visit another place and combat happens to break out. Like, there's no traveling at all in the game as far as, like, traveling on foot and walking around and exploring things. It's literally just picking from a menu, so there's no worries about getting lost in dungeons, and, like, the only thing you'll be doing is either fighting or listening to the story, and the story gets fucking deep, and there's twists and turns, and multiple endings, and the typical Shin Megami Tensei stuff of, like, law, chaotic, and neutral endings, and stuff like that. It's incredible. It really, really is. I've played those games for About 200 hours apiece.
Yeah, no, they've been out for a long time. I know that it's kind of, they have their own kind of following through all the Shin Megami Tensei, lineages of, Persona and Nocturne and Digital Devil Survivor Saga. There's so many of them with that stamp on it, the Shin Megami Tensei seal.
And see, I've been playing Devil Survivor Overclocked in preparation for Devil Survivor 2 Record Breaker, because I played the original Devil Survivor 2 for 200 hours, and I'm going to play Record Breaker for 200 hours more. It's going to be good stuff.
Do you need to play one before the other?
No. They are the stories are mutually exclusive. Like, they don't build off of each other at all.
Okay, well that's good to know. A game I couldn't get into back in the day because I wasn't like an RPG person yet, patience-wise, was Nocturne, because Nocturne was like really grindy. But I remember I liked the art style of it, and when Digital Devil Survivor, when the first one for PS2 came out, I remember the art for, I love the art for that, and I've been seeing them on the DS. I just haven't. I didn't know if I should come back to them, but then I loved, Demon Gaze. I loved, Mind Zero was a little slow, so I haven't finished.
If I recommend one SMT style game, it would probably be Devil Survivor, because the Persona games are pretty fucking heavy in the sense that you're going to be exploring dungeons and time managing and shit like that. And the canonical Shin Megami Tensei games like Strange Journey and Nocturne and Shin Megami Tensei 4 and the other stuff that was released on the DS, those are like the canonical games that you should play, but they're also like really difficult and hard to get into.
Yes.
Devil Survivor is difficult to a fault, but it's not so difficult that it's going to turn you away and like get you lost and make you feel like the game's over your head. It's the perfect medium, and that's why I would recommend that being your entry point to the SMT series, personally.
Okay, well that's good to know, because I think a lot of people wonder about the SMT stuff because it has such a history and reputation, and like you can't not see it if you're going through RPGs. But you're gonna be like, what is this? This looks weird, and then you see it's part of like a series and a franchise, and you wonder if you can just jump in. So, Digital Devil Survivor is the one you're recommending.
I'm recommending
right? Or Devil Survivor
Overclocked.
Devil Survivor Overclocked for the 3DS.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. Let's see.
I wanted to tell my story about Sunset Overdrive if we have time.
Go for it.
Okay. So has anybody here played Sunset Overdrive?
I have not.
Okay. Well, we have a bunch of
unfortunately.
That's cool. So we have I know we talked about a bunch of like more niche titles and whatever the hell, but Sunset Overdrive is an awesome game, and it's on the Xbox One, and it kind of combines that super fast, colorful, bright feeling of Jet Set Radio with just an open world, lots of comic book feel. It's just a game where you have fun, and I was playing the game for a while, and it pokes fun at itself. It loves to break the fourth wall. It sort of has a very similar sense of you either like its sense of humor or you don't, and that's where a lot of people get divided on it. It's sort of like Saints Row in the sense where it just kind of is goofy and enjoys its goofiness. But basically, the storyline is that you're like this company that makes this soda, Overcharge. This is not a real drink, by the way.
Oh, I was disappointed. That was my next question.
Well, there's liquid in here, but I'm not drinking it because I don't know who sponsored this. I don't know what this actually is. So in the game, this is the thing that turns everybody into zombies. Well, not zombies, but whatever. They're mutants. And so they all turn into monsters because they become addicted to Overcharge, and they're called the OD because they OD. Get it? So, haha. So anyway, as a result, you don't become one of these, and you go around and you kill them, and then you find your ragtag team of survivors that consists of like the jocks, the nerds, the cheerleaders, the hoodlums, whatever, and they all come together and save the city of Sunset City. So all while this guy, the little Fizco blimp, is floating around, screaming at you, calling you an asshole in a voice that sounds like it could have come out of like a Nintendo game. So it's quite surreal. So you're playing this and you're thinking, oh, this is a mindless, colorful game. But I have a theory about Sunset Overdrive that I would love to send out to Insomniac Games, because I think it might be a little darker than that. And this is my theory. When you start the game, you are a nobody. You are sweeping up trash at a concert that all the cool people are at, that is, all techno, and the guy's wearing like the big Fizco head, like he looks like Deadmau5. And you're sweeping up trash and you hate your life. And you go in the back to take a break, and you take out your cell phone. And on the cell phone of your character is Sunset Overdrive. You're playing it on your cell phone. So it's like you're playing the game within the game. And then you get hit in the head by an OD coming running around the corner, and the whole game starts. And then suddenly for the rest of the game you're a hero, and you were like a nothing, and you find out that your whole life was a waste. So my theory is that the entire game is taking place while you're in some kind of a coma, and this is the world that you wish it could be.
Wow.
And this is like the vision of like everybody who's gone nowhere in life and is unhappy. The whole theme of the game is punk-based, punk rock, like a rebellion against society. If you listen to some of the lyrics of the songs, it's kind of about breaking free of a world that you don't like and all that kind of stuff. And I always kind of wonder, it would be so amazing if behind the scenes, like the last DLC, or they release a DLC where you kind of like wake up and realize that none of this actually was real, and that you just were trying to figure out how you can make yourself a better person, and maybe that's the whole point. Because randomly through the game they say some like things that make you feel like, oh, that's kind of dark, like where they just don't want to deal with reality. So I don't know, that's my theory, and it's probably not true, but if it was true, it would make the game like so much better on a meta level, I think.
It's a really cool theory though.
If you pay attention to like the little details of the game, like one of them, if you start a challenge, you're shooting all the OD as they're coming running towards you, and their character's like, the OD used to be people, and killing people, it would make me sad, so I'm just going to pretend they're video game monsters. And like moments like that make you like pause and be like, wait, hang on a second, what are they actually, like, what are you actually doing? What does it actually look like? And like other times, like if you get to a certain viewpoint, you look at the beach and you're like, oh, I remember doing community service on that beach. And interestingly, like you can't leave the city. There's like literally a wall that like it says like end of program, like they do that fourth wall kind of thing. So it's almost like, are you in community service, or did you fail your life so miserably that you've gone nowhere and you're a dropout and you just wish everything, because what is behind every single zombie or like hero philosophy? It's like that everything could be ruined and someone could see you for who you really are and how awesome you are, and that you would go out there and save everybody. And that's what you do in the game. Like you can't do anything wrong. You just become the hero. And if you're a nobody, this is how it would happen. Everything would just fall apart overnight, and then you're magically the hero. So maybe that's the true story of Sunset Overdrive, even if they never unveil it. It's the hero in all of us.
You are quite the theorist.
It's a pretty mad theory.
I gotta say, no, yeah. I spent a lot of time with that game. Actually, the final DLC is coming out April 1st.
Is it the final, or are they going to announce more later?
Well, it's the final DLC that they were including with the Season Pass. So as of right now, they're saying it's the final story DLC. I don't know if they'll be doing more. They're very active with their community. They have a Sunset TV every week. Comes out on Tuesday. They talk about the game and developing the game. They're putting a lot into it. I gotta say, like as a developer, they have been fucking awesome. Like first of all, like I have these because they ran a promotion for getting these trophies, and I won it. So they sent me that, and they also asked for it. They sent me a copy of the game digitally to send to somebody else, so like they could play it with me. And they asked me where I pre-ordered it from, because I was giving the game all this love, and I said I didn't have a chance to pre-order because I didn't have an Xbox One yet. It came out with the system. And so I said, so I missed out on all the pre-order bonuses. And they emailed me all the codes for all the pre-order costumes and bonuses and whatever, totally unasked for.
Oh, wow.
Like, just for being,
That's
like...
outstanding.
Yeah, and like they're so... They really are they interact with people. They're constantly asking, oh, vote on this feature, vote on that feature. Like, they seem to really want to make it a world, and I think that's pretty cool of them. I'm still not going to drink this because this is an amazing piece of marketing. Like this, it has nutrition facts, and like it has a QC code. Like, and it doesn't say anywhere who sponsored this. It doesn't say like Red Bull, like packaged for, you know, whatever. It actually says distributed by Fisco, Sunset City, USA. Like this is hilarious. Like this is the best piece of marketing that I've probably ever seen. So, I'm kind of worried that it's gonna like rot through the bottom of the can. Like it has like a UPC like Best Buy. I'm like, what? Where did you get this? What is it?
I don't. Maybe after a while you might want to keep it refrigerated. Maybe.
Maybe it's actually from Sunset City and you didn't realize it existed.
What if I become an OD? Apparently, if I recycle it in California, I can get 10 cents.
Lord. Speaking of cool things, I'll mention Axiom Verge for a minute, just to remind you guys that this game is, after fucking 15 hours I've spent toiling away at this goddamn game, it is, without a doubt, my game of the year so far. Like, if you like Metroid games, run, don't walk when this shit comes out for PlayStation 4 on the 31st and eventually to PC and Vita, and it will be cross-buy, so yay. But I was stuck, and I've been stuck since last week, and I was so stuck that I restarted my game and got to the same spot again and got stuck and felt like a complete fucking moron because I'm like, whatever the solution is, the developer of this game is going to tell me the solution, and no matter what it is, I'm just going to slap myself on the forehead because it's going to be a really dumb solution. Because that's what happens when you get stuck in Metroidvania games. It's typically just this really dumb thing that's eluding you because you're too focused on something else. I'm not going to spoil what it was, but yes, the developer did email Jason, who then forwarded the email to me. Like, I took pictures of my map and stuff like that, and he's like, yeah, you need to do this, get to this spot. He didn't spoil what I needed to do in that spot, but he told me the spot I needed to go to advance. And then, like, literally, this was yesterday. I'm drunk out of my mind. It's St. Patrick's Day, and Holly and my friend Kayla are both on the couch watching me play through this game and follow the email to this precise spot on the map. It has a map just like Super Metroid, by the way.
That's fantastic.
They're watching me go to this spot, and it's a thing. And I literally, with their help, while drunk, sit here trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do in this room, and I can't figure it out to save my life. The three of us together struggled for 30 minutes. Kayla left, Holly went to bed, and then I mistakenly pressed a button that happened to trigger something. Oh my god, it is like, there are solutions that make me slap my forehead, and there are solutions that literally make me jump around the room cursing at myself for 10 minutes straight as far as how stupid I had to be to miss.
It's not, because, listen, you know what, I'm going to address the Oscar Tong here in the questions bar is saying, if it's like the original Metroid, I don't get lost, I just die really fast. And that I'm going to agree with that 100%, because every screenshot I've seen of Axiom Verge, I'm like, you know, I'm not even going to try that because I fucking suck at these kind of games. Like, I will start the game, I'll be like, yeah, and then like, I'll die. And then like, I'll start it up again, and then I'll be like, I'll get 2 rooms over, and then I'll die.
Axiom Verge, in my opinion, isn't NES Metroid hard. It's Super Metroid hard, which is slightly easier than the NES Metroid because it has more advanced technologies behind it. I can't because I'm under embargo, but suffice to say, there are enough bells and whistles to that game to, if you're up to it, make you able to sustain longer, make you able to live longer, give you more weapons in your arsenal and whatnot. Like, there are things, there's so much to do and so much to explore, and it's phenomenal and amazing, and I seriously can't wait to write the review of this game. It's going to be like 4,000 words, and I'm going to cut it down to 1,000 words. I have so much to say about everything that game does right. Like, as soon as I got unstuck, I'm sitting here like a kid at a candy store like, oh my god, I can progress again, yes!
Well, that's the fun part about games that are really, really challenging, and like, there aren't too many of those, but, you know, I hate bringing up Firefly over and over and over again, but that game is so fucking hard, and when you get past a part, you just feel so, it's like an abusive kind of, you feel good about it, like you've been beaten into submission by this game, and when you just get like 2 seconds further in it, you're like, I did it, I don't even know why I care, like in a year I won't even remember this game, but for this one moment of victory, I feel so fulfilled and happy. Like, it is just the worst abusive relationship you can have with a game when it's that hard, but like you still get but if you can figure it out on your own, you feel so like...
I have no choice but to figure it out on my own when it comes to this game. The strategy guides don't exist!
Well, they don't exist for... Like, but here's the thing. With your game, there might actually be a strategy guide. With Firefly, the strategy is obvious. It's just about getting it right. It's all timing. It's about watching when things go and then go... Like, someone could tell you exactly how to do it. You could watch somebody do it, and then you can't do it because you haven't learned the pattern. And that is what, like, you'll just be sitting there like, why can't I do it? Why can everyone do it but me? I will do this. Fuck you, game. Fuck you. You will not beat me. I am better than you. You are like suddenly Arnold Schwarzenegger, like calling out for the Predator. I am here. Come kill me. Like, that's you. That's how you get. That's why I had to stop playing this game, because I'm like screaming at it. Little girl, get through the boss.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Because at like 5 o'clock in the morning on St. Patrick's Day or whatever, fucking Nintendo, or it wasn't St. Patrick's Day, or was it the day before? Was it 3/16 or 3/17?
It was 18. Wait, what?
Today's 18.
She's in the future.
She is in the future. So then, yeah,
Oh
you're 18.
my god.
Oh my god!
Oh my god. Okay. I became a wizard.
I was gonna say,
Did
you join a cult while you've been gone?
Yes, I am a technomancer now. I am amazing. No, I downloaded a stupid program called Hangouts Dialer, which is supposed to allow you to make phone calls, but I was able to join the conversation in progress through that, and not through Hangouts. So, carry on.
Chris, you joined us literally just in time to talk about Nintendo X Dina.
I thought it was DNA.
I don't know what the hell it's called. D-E-N-A is how that company is spelled.
Yeah.
DNA.
It's DNA?
Yes.
That's how it's pronounced, even though there's a fucking E in it.
Yeah, D.
Well, yeah, D-E.
Yeah,
so
well,
D, Jonathan.
Charlotte! Shut up.
D.
D for
It's
dickhead,
basic
Jonathan.
reading comprehension.
Yeah, these are like
Don't
early.
you have a writing degree? Shouldn't you be able to read?
I'm going to use my writing degree to suffocate you.
How? With paper?
Wow, good luck with that.
Jesus
Are you
Christ.
going to give her a nasty paper cut to the throat?
Listen. Nintendo is going to mobile, and everything is doomed because Mario's going to be on PlayStation in a year.
Everything is
The
horrible
Wii-
forever.
the Wii U is dead. The Nintendo NX is going to be an Android platform. Pokemon's going to go free to play. Animal Crossing is going to go free to play.
Cats and dogs living together. Mass hysteria.
Everything is all doomed. The internet said so. Holy shit.
I don't
if
think
you
it's
guys
a
could have
good idea
seen.
for Nintendo.
You don't think it's a good idea for Nintendo, you said?
No, I don't think it's a bad idea.
Chris.
I don't think it's a bad idea either.
I don't either, for the record.
They can't figure out online. Like, they haven't successfully done it or pulled it off with the Wii, with the 3DS, with the Wii U. They constantly want this like nanny state over their own titles and and how they control their internet. And I think that partnering with a mobile carrier is going to probably help them be able to practice online with some of their titles in app forms, perhaps, to see if this is what they want to delve into without them having to build any infrastructure of their own. So if you think about it that way, it's kind of smart for them because they don't have to waste any kind of money and they can still maintain the control over their consoles that they want. But I don't know. Mobile is clearly, you can't ignore mobile. You can't ignore online, and they've been doing both. So
I honestly don't really care as long as they keep making good console games that I like playing. As long as that doesn't stop, they can do whatever
They
like.
will.
Oh, also stop region locking. Fuck that.
Yeah. We can all agree to that.
Charlotte, before we go, let's mention the thing that we're going to have to do.
Yes, I won't have to wait a year and a half for Atlas games anymore. Fuck yes.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I will make that happen for you. But before then, we have to, if I understand right, remove...
Okay, I'll...
Oh, go ahead.
All right. So Jonathan and I, we both have new 3DSs, so I'm going to give Jonathan my old 3DS, and he'll give me his. So then he'll have a PAL Region 3DS, and I'll have an NTSC one. So then we can, like, give each other games and
each
shit.
other's games. Charlotte's going to be my means for example.
I'll play Bravely Second. Jonathan hated Bravely Default, so I'll just send you my copy when I'm done. Anyway, I went to post it this morning, and the chick behind the counter freaked the shit out because apparently you can't post lithium batteries because they'll explode. She was freaking out. So
no, they do explode.
They do?
Ah, ruined the PSP that way.
Well, no. The PSPs had a very specific issue. There was like a defect with if you left them idle for too long or didn't charge them. There were they would expand slowly over time, and it almost looked like water had gotten into them. But like this, I've only ever seen that happen with a PSP, and it took a long time to happen. But it was if they got too hot. And that was because what would happen was people wouldn't play them for a little bit, and then they put them somewhere, and then heat would get exposed to them, and then they'd be bringing them back into GameStops to trade them in, and try to hope you didn't notice that the battery cover did not cover the battery because the battery had inflated, and you're like, I'm not touching that. That's gonna blow up in my face, so get that the fuck out of my store. And they'd be like, what's the matter? It's totally fine. I'm like, no.
Totally fine.
Yeah, I had that happen to a PSP.
Charlotte and I are going to take the lithium batteries out of our respective 3DSs, mail our 3DSs to each other across the world, and put our batteries back in the other person's system.
I mean,
whoa, that's just crazy talk.
Region locking.
It's too hot. I don't know. I'm being told from my GameStop manager friend that they actually have to mark boxes now that have lithium batteries inside when they do shipments. So perhaps something has changed. Because we were just talking that people do ship them store-wise. He's telling me that there are actually severe fines about it now, which I did not know. So I guess they must have all figured out that if things get too hot, because let's be honest, the Postal Service is not good about. I have a friend in Brazil that mailed me a chocolate Easter, and it was marked chocolate. Do not put near heat. And
Right.
it was delivered to me on an 80-degree day and
Of
was
course.
left inside the truck. Like, I
Easy
ran
guys.
out there, and I'm like, this made it here from Brazil! And I, like, ran back into the house, and the guy's, like, standing there like, oh my god! So it's like...
Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned by chocolate. Dude.
I
Scorned
saw the
for
note.
chocolate.
He like because it was international. I had to sign for it, and I missed him, and I saw the note, and I like jumped in my car and like found the post truck, and I was like, you have a box in your car, It's, like, sitting back there.
Give me my chocolate.
It's sitting back there in like an 80-degree, and then like inside the truck, it's even hotter. And I like ran it back and like threw it in the fridge before even opening the box because it was like starting to like, oh my god. I'm like, imagine
Wow.
this thing's gonna make it through customs. It's gonna get to New Jersey, and it's just gonna be a puddle. It's gonna be a puddle of chocolate. So they're trying to spare you that pain, Jonathan and Charlotte, with your lithium-ion batteries. You don't want to open it up and just see like a puddle of lithium-ion. Nobody knows what it is, but you'll find out.
It's basically made up of the T-1000, and they just shove him in a little black rectangle, and they're like, "You're gonna power my game system."
Jesus Christ. What are, perhaps, your biggest fears about Nintendo going mobile? Erica, you first.
I don't have any fears. I feel like maybe they'll finally just learn how to do online, and it'll benefit everybody.
We're optimistic on this show, Chris. Charlotte, you feel the same way?
The world's gonna burn down. You have to like, they'll release a new Pokemon game. You have to like buy all the Pokemon and like with
Dude.
real money
Dude.
and fucking. No, I don't actually. Yeah.
719
as long
Pokemon.
as they keep
It's dollar.
making console games and Monolith Soft can keep making games on consoles and aren't forced to do like mobile ports of things, it'll be fine.
Very true. Alright, so we're all optimists on this show. I am glad that we came to that conclusion. I had no idea that that was going to be how this winds up when I brought that up. That's...
I like how you assume I'm the optimist.
No, I just think
like it.
Nintendo needs a lot of hand-holding to be brought, like, because they've waited so long to come forward with any of the more modern aspects of gaming, and I think it's good that they've partnered with somebody so that they're not just, it's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
It's alright, as long as they don't do like a worldwide release for a mobile game and then release it in 7 countries so no one else can play it.
Oh god.
Oh, gracious. Okay, any other news items we want to mention before we leave this cake stand?
There's one cool thing that everyone should just watch because it's just so fucking cool looking. It's the best CG that I have seen in a long time, and that's including like AAA developers. And the only reason I bring this up is because when I looked it up, it's from an indie studio in South Korea. And if this is what indie is in South Korea, then our biggest worry is not Nintendo going mobile. It's why can't we just hire everybody from South Korea to make our video games? It's called Angel
South Korea
Stone.
is crazy.
They are amazing. First of all,
They
talking
play
about
like
mobile,
Diablo for like...
Yeah. So anyway, in StarCraft. So Angel Stone is the name of this title, and the indie game dev is called FinCon. They've made another game. It was a mobile game also, but you have to remember, in South Korea and Japan, like their cell phones are like 5 years ahead of ours. So the games they play mobily are like, what? So
Are like these, basically.
yeah, so this is the CG from the game that's coming out. The only other thing I was able to find about it was some shaky cam footage from GDC 2015. It looks sort of like a Diablo type of a game. It's supposed to also be coming out on mobile devices, but it wasn't being played on a mobile device. It was being played on, on a PC, and it looked interesting. But there is no hard. It's really not. I'm not talking about this because of gameplay. I'm just the fact that this CG comes out of an indie developer is unbelievable because it is beautiful. And I had the link in our outline, so I don't know if it'll be up on our Twitter.
We'll make
But
it
it
happen.
is
We'll
good.
make it happen.
It is Angel Stone, and it is beautiful.
All right.
Oh, also, if Ori and the Blind Forest, the title song is up for free download. So if you Google that, you can get it for free. The composer
I need to
put
play
it
that
up.
damn game.
It-
I'm too busy
So, it's a
playing all my
beautiful
other
song.
damn games, but I need to play that damn game. I bought it at least. There's that.
Yes,
How much?
you did.
How much? Like, what did you hear before I cut out? Just quickly, like earlier, like right at the beginning. That Monster Hunter
Huh?
and shit.
Um,
Before I
um,
cut out.
Oh,
you
no.
you were in the middle of Xenosaga, and then you
Yes.
stopped.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll just like finish that because like I didn't really get to. But
Alright.
the fucking internet. No, okay. Yeah. So like I'm sort of at the end of Xenosaga Episode 3. I'm up to Chapter 8, and there's only like 10 chapters. So like I've nearly finished the whole trilogy, and it's awesome. I'll probably smash it out this weekend because I've got like nothing due, so that'll be awesome.
That's why you're here
streaming-
hanging out with us.
Yes. Streaming Monster Hunter in like 5 hours, so if you're around, you can come watch us like do the DLC quests and stuff like that. That's not much else is happening. I think Chris and I were going to be hunting after the
Yay!
podcast.
That's right.
We have
Yes.
another optimist in our questions, Oscar Tong, saying that they're just wising up finally and venturing into the smartphone and tablet frontier. I hope they'll make some small, fun programs to brighten my day. He also doesn't think that they're going to ever give up their game system business. I also agree. They're not going to give.
Wouldn't think they would.
No way.
I am so glad that we're hanging around a bunch of optimists.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's funny too
Twitter,
because
Jesus Christ.
Sony had like, I guess, a similar sort of reaction when they actually made a couple of their first party IP stuff for mobile.
Right.
There was like what
the Windows Phone and shit. Like, it's not as though the other companies are not doing this shit at all, and Nintendo's an outlier. No, Nintendo's
No.
the party.
No, I'm talking
they're
about
going
like
to fear. There's just a fear that you're going to just abandon everything else and only go mobile. You know, that's the fear, I guess. But
like everything that people fear now, Sony has already done.
Yep.
There's a Fat Princess game for iOS.
yeah,
There's that stupid PlayStation All-Star Experience game for iOS.
yep.
I mean, yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. It's so they had all this stuff, and all of this stuff is basically just it's a way to sort of like bring people up to speed. Like what every 6-year-old has in their pocket right now is like an iPod Touch.
Well,
What every 8-year-old has in their phone in their pockets is like an Android or an Apple iPhone, you know. And so this gives them an ability to like, oh hey, cool, download this game for free. Check out these characters. Maybe you like them. Guess what? There's a whole bunch of games on the 3DS that you can play right now with these characters. Check out all these. Look at there's all these games on the Wii U that have these characters.
And if they get smart about it, they'll learn to do what a lot of other game developers have done. Like Hitman Absolution has like a game that you can play mobilely, and then
That's actually really good. Hitman Go. I love that game.
And like Evolve made a mobile app where the leveling up you do there can carry over to the game, so that basically so you can progress while you're doing something else, and it's just it doesn't abandon the hardware at all, and you can still play mobilely. So optimist. I know Jonathan
And then
wants to wrap
like
this
there's
up,
a second
so I'm sorry.
second screen stuff for like all these things.
Yeah.
Starhawk, Halo, Dead Rising 3, Smart Glass everywhere. This is all I was like. I don't know. I just wanted to say this real quick on the subject because you know what? Like, imagine how cool it could be if we had finally like a unified account system. First of all, but second of all, an actual platform. Give us something like Xbox Live, but for Nintendo platforms that also has a companion app where you can actually send and chat with other people who are currently logged in from your phone. So it's like you don't have your 3DS doesn't have internet at the time, or your Wii use it at home. Then you can still send messages to people to check who's online, check your Miiverse. Whereas the Miiverse app, like come on, man.
It would be great because like you said, Xbox is already doing that. They have a fantastic app actually where you can like chat with each other to your friends list, and you can do it from your smartphone, and you're nowhere near you're in the mall or school or work, and you just want to see what's going on the actual community. Whereas the 3DS, I still need people's friend codes. Like, what?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Whenever I play multiplayer,
Yep.
I'm like, dude, I don't want to actually know these people. I don't want to like meet these people. I just want to like have randos to play with, and then
But you can't have randos because Nintendo's a kid system.
Well, you can have randos. It's just per game.
I am messing with you. It's fun. Chris, before we go, I have to ask, and not that I'm not appreciative for it, but what the fuck is this? What does it do?
I can't see what. Oh, that.
don't you like pull it and it spins?
No, it's a whizzer. You have to. Okay, I have to apologize. About a day before I wrapped it, my son got a hold of it and smashed it on the ground, and it dislodged the whizzer top inside. It's a top. So you were supposed to take it sort of diagonally and spin the rubber part against the table a couple times to get it going, and then put it on the table and it would spin. But because my son dislodged it, it doesn't have anything to like cause resistance, so it won't spin anymore. It just topples now.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It really did work the day up until I wrapped it.
And you still sent it. That's the best. Here's
Because
my
it's
broken
Kobe.
back.
No,
Here you go.
You don't understand. This is what else Chris sent me, ladies and gentlemen. This is a Wii Fit U meter.
Did you open it?
No!
Open it right now.
Okay. But, like...
It's not a Wii Fit meter.
Oh my goodness!
Is it a lithium-ion battery?
You deceptive son of a bitch!
It's a lithium-ion battery duck, Jonathan.
No, this is, for those of you who do not know, this is the pin that they gave out at E3 for the remake of Castle of Illusion done by Sega of Australia that I am very, very much attached to. I'm very glad I didn't open this box until tonight, because I seriously opened the package and I'm like, what the fuck did this dude send me a Wii U meter for? Is he trying to tell me something?
That screen on that Wii U meter looks like the Dreamcast like memory
The
card.
VMU?
Screen. Yes, it looks like a
Hell
VMU.
yes.
Oh my god. I don't know if you guys
VMUs are the shit.
this, but he says, ha ha, just
I forgot I wrote that.
How did you spell? I think the better question is, why did you spell just wrong?
That's just how I write. Sorry,
oh
I've
my
got
god.
terrible handwriting. It's really
Well,
awful.
now this gift makes a lot more sense. I'm so glad that we did this on the show, because I would have just sat here and been like, what the fuck? Why did he... So then I would have opened it up and been like, oh my god. But no, we did it on the show. Chris, thank you, by the way.
You
I
are
also
quite
have
welcome.
a Kirby amiibo. And ladies and gentlemen, hearing this for the first time, I am officially sick and tired of amiibos, and I'm not going to own any amiibo besides this one and my Shulk one. Chris is getting my Marth. I'm going to send it to him probably in the same box that this fucking shit came in. And I am getting... This is a breaking announcement. I haven't even announced this anywhere else yet because the contest obviously hasn't gone live. But I pre-ordered a Gold Mario for friend of the show Joe Walker at Space Kappa on Twitter. I did it because he always he wanted a Gold Mario and could never get a hold of one. And as soon as I saw like Gold Mario available, I literally on my break at work grabbed my phone and just created an account on Walmart.com and bought the fucking thing. And then Joe's like, oh yeah, I already got one. I'm like, alright, cool. So this thing is on its way to my house, and I am going to give it to Game Podunk to offer up in a contest. So ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned to Game Podunk on March 20th, 21st, 22nd, whenever the fuck that happens, because y'all are about to get a chance to win a Gold Mario amiibo right from this humble household right here.
Nice.
Nice.
Chris, thank you for your gifts. Ladies, thank you for your
You are welcome.
Let's end this damn show.
Yes. It's past my bedtime.
It is definitely past
It's
our
always
bedtime.
it's always past your bedtime.
See, Chris and Erica together are like
gonna have
this
to, like, crack
cohesive
this
force.
And find out what happens the next episode. It's gonna go like...
Same
Oh,
bat time,
Lord.
same bat channel.
Very true. If you would like to leave feedback for this episode or any previous episodes, if you'd like to tell Randy and Jared to get their asses back here so we can have a 6-person show one week,
Jesus.
that's
Please
cool.
have Daryl come back so I can talk to him about something and disagree with him.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
That happened too.
that's a perfect plan.
You may do so by leaving us an email at feedback.bcpodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us at BC_podcast on Twitter, as well as like and follow us on Facebook, Google+, and Tumblr. You can follow us individually on Twitter. I am at Radical Defects. Chris, you're next.
I am at Wildcard Corsair on Twitter.
Erica, you're next.
I am at Hello Neo on Twitter. It's spelled with 1s and 0s, and I, as always, will let you figure out where they go.
I am at Raik, R-A-I-K, Rhythm on Twitter.
Oh, did anybody actually remark about how you're back from the dead this week and how
Yes.
amazing that is?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Okay, good.
I said it was a little awkward because I thought she was dead, but now she's not.
Yep.
She
That's how
will
things
be
work.
back
This is like comic
next
books.
week.
No one stays dead.
Exactly. We bring them
I
back.
really can't believe that you shoved this fucking pin in this week.
That's
I
because
literally-
I am awesome.
When I opened up this packet, I'm like, did dude stick Randy's gift in here by mistake?
Well, joke's on you. Randy already has one.
Well, on
Joke.
that note
is
of
on
love
me.
and caring, I think we should say goodnight as we round it to 12:30.
Ah, yes.
Let's
Okay.
go to
Okay.
love
okay.
and caring. Good night and good luck, ladies and gentlemen.
Stay
Thank
classy.
you, as always, for listening. And ladies
Cheers to
and
devil.
Brent, thank you for joining us.
Time zones
This is where
suck.
we stop.
Time zones are awesome.
Jesus Christ.